Hey guys, welcome. Here we are Monday night. My name is Bud. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, welcome. If you've been hanging out with us for a little while, it's good to have you back. And if you're part of our international audience, we especially appreciate you. So the international audience is growing. You should all just go to bed right now because you can watch it tomorrow at loveme.com/live. So hey guys, thanks for joining us. This is our time on Monday night that we put aside every week to answer your questions on international dating, how to meet, how to travel and find, how to create a courtship and a love relationship with beautiful international women, how to fall in love, how to get married, how to get engaged, all that stuff. Doesn't that sound like a fun thing to do for the new year? And so what we do is we talk about your questions and your concerns, and sometimes we have a central topic to focus on, and that will be the case going forward. Tonight, it's a free-for-all, man. You're going to drive the conversation tonight, or there's not going to be a conversation tonight. So you guys can text your questions to me. There's a green box right above me, and you can text me any questions that relate to what we do and any of the processes that I just spoke about. So we go to 8 different countries currently, guys. You've got opportunities to meet women in China, in the Philippines, all over Latin America, in places like Costa Rica, Colombia, and Peru. And of course, we are our world-renowned programs in the Ukraine as well. So we got lots of opportunities for you guys to meet a lot of very beautiful international women from all over the world. And undoubtedly, you've got questions about that, and that's why we're here. So let's talk about those processes, how to find those women, how to create that really exciting, fun courtship, how to fall in love as a result of that courtship. And then what do you do when you're in love? What do any two people who are in love do? You want to be together. So how do you work that out? How does she come here, wherever here is? And we'll talk about all of that as you ask your questions tonight. I have some things that I'll mention to you here up front, some events that we have coming up, and then we'll take your questions. So guys, you click the green box above me and let me know what your questions are, and I'll select your questions on my admin panel tonight, and I'll answer them for you. So, the reason we don't have a central topic tonight is because, our office here in Phoenix has been completely infected with whatever freaking zombie plague has been going on out there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a flu season. There's some pretty serious varieties of cough and cold and that kind of thing. I don't know what we had going down here in Phoenix, but it was quite serious and just completely took out my voice for about 10 days. Some people were probably really happy about that. But anyway, right up until, I think, yesterday, it was just about impossible for me to speak. But it somehow all came back in the last 24 hours, so it's amazing, honestly, if you just hang in there, how much better you feel. So I'm better, I'm energized, and going forward on Monday nights, we will definitely have more topical things to cover for you, all right? We'll talk about things related to international dating as a whole. We want to cover a lot of stuff for you. Last year in 2017, if you take the time to go through the archives and look at some of these other broadcasts that we've done, we've covered all kinds of stuff. We've covered dating etiquette. We've covered gift giving. We've talked about age difference and how guys who are a little bit older can pique the interest of women who are younger. We've talked about questions that are really important to ask when you're on a date. I think I gave you guys about 50 really excellent examples of great open-ended questions that you can ask during a date with an international girl to get her to talk, to open up and share her deep inner world with you. We talked about getting stuck in the friend zone and how to get out of it. And what is the friend zone? So there's just some of the many, many topics that we cover here on Monday night that we covered in 2017. You can go back into the archives and check those out. And going forward, I'll have some similar topics for you, some good stuff. I've also got some things that are coming up, some projects that I'm going to finish, some writing projects that are going to really amount to my first book or two in a long time that I'm really excited about that I'll be offering you shortly as well. So a lot of stuff to look forward to, guys. A lot of really good, concrete, how-to information that will just take you further and further into this experience until you've got your girl. Because ultimately, that's our goal, isn't it? Kind of a unique business model when you think about it, guys, but our goal is to lose you as a customer forever because you've met somebody and you're happy. So that is the goal. That's what we're going to work on this week. We definitely want you to get out there in front of somebody special who's waiting to be discovered by you on the other end of this. So a couple of things up front, and then I'll take your questions. Click the green box right above me and send me your questions, guys, and I'll let your questions pretty much steer the conversation tonight. So yeah, all right, so one of the things that I like to do, John Adams, our CEO, his lovely wife Tanya also loves to do it. We get out in front of you guys and do what we call our international dating seminars. They're free. They're definitely seminarish. They're definitely a learning experience, probably 4 hours long in most cases, usually on a Saturday or a Sunday. And we have a couple of them, actually, we have 3 of them now remaining this month, and then we'll throw a bunch of them up for February and March. I submitted a list of cities that we should be going to that I'm sure John is going to approve. So you'll probably see us in some familiar places, guys, pretty soon, right? Texas, probably Baltimore. The Midwest, definitely. I think we've got one in St. Louis coming up next month, actually. So we got a lot coming up for you. But for right now, here's what we've got scheduled. On January 13th, which is a Saturday, in Los Angeles, John and Tanya will be there to give you an international dating seminar that is not to, it's just not to be missed. It's great, great information. If you have any inclination at all to try this out, to try and find your life mate this way, brother, you got to get to our seminar in Los Angeles on January 13th at 11 o'clock. And then I will be in Nashville on Saturday, January 20th. I'll be in Orlando on January 21st. In both of those seminars, all 3 of those seminars actually are starting to fill up. So if you want to come out to Los Angeles on January 13th, or you want to come out to Nashville on January 20th, or Orlando on January 21st, you got to make an RSVP for us. You just simply write to me, bud@loveme.com. We'll flash a number up there for you somewhere too. But just get in touch with us so that we can make an RSVP for you. That saves you a seat. Make sure we have the right amount of coffee and food and whatever we're ordering, because we always provide lunch and refreshments and that sort of stuff. I don't want anybody falling asleep on us in the middle of our seminar, and I don't want you standing up in the back either. So an RSVP is important. What do we do at the seminar? We show a ton of video of our social events going on all over the place, all over the world, so you get to see men and women meeting each other just like you're watching right now. And this is video from my July tour in Ukraine of this year. My fine band of brothers from July, who I love and miss. And specifically, we're looking at Kherson, Ukraine. So we show video of men and women meeting each other because we want you to see how easy it is, how orchestrated it is, how comfortable the men and women are as they meet each other, how easy it is to have a conversation with these really beautiful women, and just kind of show you what that looks like. And we'll break it down for you and talk about what you're looking at and what exactly is going on at different parts of the video. And we'll have video from Latin America, from the Philippines, from the Ukraine, all over the place. So wherever it is that you want to go, whatever culture you have your eye on, we'll probably have some good video to show you. And we'll break it down and show you what's going on. Of course, we'll talk a lot about our business model. We'll talk a lot about how we do what we do, and a lot about why we do what we do, which is important. I mean, what motivates John and I and Robert and my tour department, anybody else here that you're going to talk to do what we do. And all of us have years and years and years of experience in this fine business to share with you. So some good stuff. And I could definitely say that in Orlando, certainly in Los Angeles, probably a few in Nashville as well. We'll have some of our recent tour clients coming out just to say hi and share their experience. We just always seem to have guys that come to us during our seminars just to share their experience. So that's another great reason, just to kind of get out and build your community a little bit, because if you're interested in meeting beautiful women from other parts of the world, you are far from alone, my friend. There are thousands and thousands of guys out there that have that interest. So free dating seminars for you. Los Angeles, January 13th, Nashville, January 20th, Orlando, January 21st, and I believe it's going to be February 17th. Is going to be Saturday when we do St. Louis, and we'll have some others coming up for you. So check it out, guys, right? Make your RSVP. And then, of course, if you're interested in being part of the 3% of the thousands of guys who are writing to international women all over the world, who actually get on a plane and go and meet some of these women, 3% of you turkeys are going to do that, statistically speaking, although I'm going to do my best to move that up to 5 or 10 or more. But anyway, if you're interested in actually getting out in front of these women, introducing yourself, and creating that love relationship, that really cool love relationship with a beautiful international girl, you have lots of opportunities to do that wherever you want to go. We're going to be hosting some really great social events in Cebu starting January 25th. We've got some really great social events in Ukraine starting on February 2nd. And from there, we're going to go on to Peru, and then Davao in the Philippines, and then Costa Rica. And all of those are really, really great places to go to meet lots and lots and lots of very, very, very beautiful women. It's easy to get to all of those places. We can discuss the logistics and help you with all of that. If you have questions around all of that, just call us up and talk to us. And again, right now in the background, you're looking at my July social in Kherson, Ukraine. Beautiful outdoor venue. Lovely evening. Yeah, man. Good times. Those of you who have an eye on Ukraine, you should think seriously about our trip coming up in February. On February 1st, we will commence in Ukraine. We've got a social party in Kiev on February 2nd, and then we're going to move down to Odessa a few days later and have a social party there as well. So it's been a long time before we paired those two cities together. I don't know if we've ever done it, to be honest with you. Kiev and Odessa in February. Yes, it's wintertime. Yes, you can handle it. It's just a little snow. It's not going to slow anybody down. It's certainly not going to slow us down. I guarantee you it won't slow the women down. They'll be bored. The holidays are over. It's midwinter. There's nothing going on. They would love to go out on dates and find romance. And by the way, the airfare to Ukraine in February is going to be cheap, cheap, cheap. Absolutely, from just about anywhere. So if you have your eye on that Ukrainian tour, stop looking at it. Get on the phone, make a reservation. Let us help you get on that tour. Be part of probably 25 or 30 guys that are going to be traveling with us in February to meet the kind of women you're looking at right now in extremely high numbers. You can do it, guys, right? February, let's do it. Let's get that introduction out of the way. Let's create that romance in that relationship. By the end of the year, I bet she'll be here and you can celebrate the holidays with your beautiful girl, happy as can be. It's what it's all about, right? So, yeah. All right, guys, I want your questions. I got a couple of them I'm going to jump into. Text me, guys. That green box right above me, right? Click it and send me your questions because the whole conversation tonight is going to be centered around your questions. I'll be very happy to bring you specific topics starting next Monday night. We're all recovering from the zombie plague here, and we're just starting to feel better. I know I am. So next week, we'll definitely get topical, but let's just answer some of your questions. You guys always have good questions, but let's keep it going tonight. Text me with a green box right above me. Send me your question that way, and I'll be happy to read it and answer it for you. So Brock says he submitted his paperwork for the February tour. We've got a couple of them, and have yet to receive a confirmation or be charged. When might I expect to get this? Brock, you should call us up, because if in late November you made a reservation for the November tour and you haven't gotten a confirmation yet, one, I would check your spam box because there's an excellent chance we go to spam quite frequently, at least in the beginning. So I would check that. And then if you don't see a confirmation, you usually get it immediately. So if you don't have one, don't wait so long, for goodness sake. Call us up right away and say, hey, what's going on? There obviously is a glitch, maybe with your credit card, I don't know. But just call us up, Brock, and we'll try and solve it for you quickly, all right? You can write to me if that's easier for you, bud@loveme.com. But just reach out to us so that I can reach back to you right away, which I'll be happy to do. David says, it was good to see John online again. Okay, but when are you going to bring in Tanya and Anna? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. When do we bring Tanya and Anna, two women from Russia who we work with? One of them's happily married. John, what could possibly raise the tour interest in our listeners than a sample of those two wonderful ladies? That's true. We should just put Tanya and Anna up here and let them just do their own little seminar and such. They're a little camera shy in some cases. But, the thing about women from Ukraine and Russia, interestingly enough, is most of the time they're fairly modest publicly. So it's a little hard to get them to come out of their shell a little bit in public, but not impossible. So we've done a bunch of blogs that you can look at our site, and you'll see Anna and John, for example. They do a lot of things together. Anna's traveling the world right now, riding elephants somewhere or something like that. Hopefully she's well, and we'll be back here shortly. And yeah, who knows? Maybe we can work something out, David. I think you're right. We definitely need to get some women out here for you guys to talk to, right? My man Don says, I don't know if you remember me because it's been a while since our last beer together. Don, I never forget you. You were one of my favorite stories. I will often tell the story of how I was in Lugansk with a tour, and Don met this really beautiful blonde woman, and my hotel room was such, it would never work in the States, but I could actually lock my hotel room door from the outside. Anyway, as it works out, basically, I could lock the door from the outside, and then someone who was inside my hotel room could not unlock it to get out. That would never work in the States. But as was the case, in Ukraine, I had a large hotel suite. Our staff was working in the suite. It was attached to my bedroom, and Don and his girl were in there hanging around for a little while. My staff was in there. It was late at night, and I made my staff go out and get something to eat because I knew they wouldn't do it if I didn't make them do it. So we all left, and I locked my door, and I came back hours later, and I came into my room, and I hear laughing in my bedroom attached to the hotel suite that I was working in. When I went in and looked in my bedroom, who's in my bedroom? Here's Don and his lady sitting on my bed. I don't know what they were looking at on the laptop, but they were having a good laugh. It was one of the funniest and cutest things I ever saw. How about that, Don, huh? Yeah, do I remember Don? Of course I do. Question is, does the new biometric control for foreigners affect our passports and visas entering the Ukraine? Huh? I'm not sure what you're referencing there, Don. And if there's some kind of new biometric control for foreigners, I didn't see that on my last tour, which was in November, and I haven't heard anything about that. So if you've got some additional information, why don't you enlighten me and I'll look into it for you. But I haven't heard of any changes that affect foreigners going into Ukraine as of right now. I don't think there's anything that's impacting us, Don. I don't think anything has changed for those of us going to Ukraine. I've heard nothing about that. We have a tour coming up really soon, so I would think our staff in Kiev would have enlightened us if something was going on. Check it out, guys. Green box right above me. Just click that and text me your questions. I'll be happy to answer them. We're looking at video footage from July, Ukraine. This is our social in July in the Ukraine. It's a Tuesday night. And, as you're just kind of looking around the social, just keep an eye on the number of women that you see compared to the number of men. There are always 8, 9, 10 times the women that there are men at the socials. Watch the men interacting with the women. The girl with the red bag is actually our manager from Odessa, Anna, who's an amazing amount of help everywhere we go, including Kherson. So we usually take her to Kherson with us because she helps us out quite a bit. Just watch our guys meeting the women and look how comfortable everybody is as they talk to each other and get to know each other. These are people who just met. So when you see them looking and laughing and talking and dancing and they look comfortable and they look happy, this is a social party and these are people who just met. And I love to point that out so that guys can see how easy it is to meet and talk to these ladies, right? This is my friend Jerry. Jerry's a fine man. He likes girls that are probably a little too young for him a lot of the time, so he gets a little bit of a laugh and a little funny reaction sometimes. Good man. Anyway, David says, I am going on a single tour next week in Costa Rica. Good for you. Is it fair for me to expect 3 dates a day for 7 days as promised? So that sounds, all right, a single tour club. Well, I think it's fair. It's not an exact science, so some days it may be 3, some days it may be 4. We'll see. What we usually do is we set up those first few days of dates for you, and we let you get through that and see how that goes. We don't set up 7 days of dates for you because, quite frankly, there's an excellent chance you're not going to want dates for 7 days. If you do, you can definitely have them. That's not a problem, David. But what is more likely to happen is on those first couple of days, you're going to have first dates and second dates and third dates. And at some point, you're probably going to meet somebody you really like a lot. And rather than delay developing that relationship because you're infusing more first dates, you're probably going to cut it off at some point and say, I'm good, man. I really like this girl. She really likes me. We're just going to go spend some really great romantic time together. And if that happens, that would be quite typical. If not, if you want those dates, you can have those dates. That's the idea. Again, nothing that we do is an exact science, guys, right? There are human beings that are involved, and nobody's robotic here. But is it typical that a person going to Costa Rica can have 3 dates a day for 7 days? Sure. You probably could have more than that if you really want. I don't know that I would recommend that. But Gustavo, our great manager in Costa Rica, will do an excellent job for you. And as long as your expectations are realistic and who you're trying to meet, that has a lot to do with it, guys. You got to go into this with realistic expectations around age difference. If you are very good at picking out women who are appropriate for you, you can have all the dates you want, David. So no worries. Gustavo will take good care of you. Great, guys. Keep those questions coming. Come on, click that green box. You're driving the conversation tonight. There it is on video. The famous, the immortal Kherson fountain dance. I never get tired of that. All right. Tim says, Bud, I'm excited to be traveling to Paris this week to meet with a lovely lady who I found on your site. She signed the IMBRA form. Good for you. Is a hotel lobby a decent place to meet her for the first time? Well, that's okay if you're staying at a hotel. If you don't know Paris very well, or if she doesn't and you're meeting in a hotel lobby, why not? Usually hotel lobbies have restaurants and cafes attached to them, so I wouldn't spend a ton of time in the lobby. I would move to a cafe, have some coffee and croissants or whatever it is you're having there, champagne and cheese or whatever they have in Paris. But as you know, there are a lot of great restaurants in Paris everywhere you go, a lot of great places to eat. So I wouldn't spend too much time in the hotel lobby. There's nothing wrong with getting introduced there, but then I would typically go somewhere that's romantic because Paris is full of those. That's why people go to Paris, right? Good for you, Tim. Good luck. David says, are you going to bring back the Guangzhou tour? David, I don't think we ever had a Guangzhou tour, so my answer is no, not likely. We do have a Shenzhen tour. We did have a Chongqing tour. I don't think we're bringing back Chongqing anytime soon. Chongqing was an enormous city, but sometimes there's just too much of a good thing, guys. We just found that our guys didn't really need Shenzhen and Chongqing. You know, Shenzhen seems to work for a lot of guys, and we have a great staff there, and we've had some really good tours there recently. So, you know, I don't think we have a tour to Guangzhou, but we definitely have a tour to Shenzhen. Now, if you're writing to somebody in Guangzhou, you want to meet ladies from Guangzhou, I would simply ask them, if you go all the way to Shenzhen, could they take a day or two to come down to Guangzhou? You'll get them a hotel room, of course, in order to meet you. I would do that. If they're not willing to do that, you then have the choice to go to Guangzhou from Shenzhen. And our staff in Shenzhen can discuss how to do it and help you buy tickets, airplane tickets, train tickets, or book a taxi, or however it is that you decide you want to go to Guangzhou. Our staff will help you do that. And if that doesn't work for you, then stop writing to this girl and write to the girls in Shenzhen and then go and meet them. Yeah, man. Edward says, what countries would be tolerant of medical cannabis? Edward, I have no idea at all. Amsterdam? No, I have no idea. I have no idea. All right, so guys, I don't know if, what can I say? I have no idea. Sorry, Edward. It's a great question, just no clue. All right, so guys, if you'd like to ask questions about international dating, how to meet these beautiful women, what happens when you meet them, how to court them, what happens when you fall in love, anything at all related to international dating or our business model at loveme.com, please click the green box above me and just ask your questions, right? And I'll see them on my admin panel, and I'll be happy to answer them throughout the night, because that's what we're doing tonight, guys, right? Been sick, I've been down, could barely talk for about 10 days, and just got the right medicine and got better in a hurry, thank God. And John was down, Robert was down, and guys that we work with, people we work with, it was a major, major deal here, but a lot of people everywhere are just really sick right now. It's that time of year, so it's a good time to drink your fluids, take your vitamins, get strong and healthy, and then get out there and meet these girls, because there are thousands and thousands of very beautiful women all over the world with no life mate, and they'd love to meet somebody and fall in love. You just got to get out in front of them, my friend, right? So now's a good time to do it. We got the whole year in front of us. Lots and lots and lots of opportunity. Guys ask me all the time if the women on our website are real. How do we even know these women are real? Look, we verify every profile that's on our website. And the best way for you to know if anybody's real or not is to get on a plane and go meet them. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get on a plane and go meet women and they're all going to not be real. We verify the profiles. We're not going to send you on a goose chase. But what you want to do is, as you get ready to travel to any of the 8 countries that we currently have women listed from, you just call us up and say, here's what I'm thinking of doing. I want to go to this city, this country. Maybe you want to do one of our world-renowned group tours. It's like the best singles cruise you could ever go on, just no boat and sometimes no water, but great social events. Maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to travel on your own. Maybe you've traveled on your own around the world and you're comfortable doing that. Maybe you want to go to Latin America, you know, someplace where it's nice and warm and tropical right now. Maybe you want to travel to Europe. Maybe you want to go to Asia. All good, all great. Just call us up and talk to us. Tell us what you're thinking. We'll listen, and then we'll offer you a path to get out in front of these ladies, and surely we'll find something that's going to work for you however you want to do it, right? We want to introduce as many ladies as possible to as many men as possible this year. I think, if I'm not wrong, guys, this is year number 24 for us. I'm pretty sure it is. That's crazy. I remember not too long ago, we were talking about approaching 20 years and how phenomenal it was, how unique it was to be doing this for 20 years. And right now, I think we're entering into year 24. How about that? That is a long time to be doing what we do. How many businesses do you know that have been doing what they do with very little change, quite frankly, very little change in their approach and in their business model in 24 years? Isn't that amazing, honestly? And in the 24 years, we've introduced thousands of couples to each other, because people fall in love all over the world if they just get in front of each other. We act like there's some kind of rule that people from one country can't fall in love with somebody from another country. It really is silly, isn't it, when you think about it? Because there is no such rule. Any two people anywhere on earth can meet each other and like each other, have things in common, have chemistry and strong attraction, want to spend time together, talk to each other, get to know each other, and fall in love. Any two people from anywhere can do that, and they frequently do. We're looking at the Odessa Opera House behind me, guys, right? Odessa Opera House, I believe it was built in the early 1800s. And it's just one of the most beautiful and oldest opera houses in the world. And I'll tell you what, again, we're going there in February and April. We'll be there in September and July. We'll be there a bunch of times this year. If you go to Odessa, the Opera House is a great place for a date. Tickets are cheap. It's absolutely gorgeous. Women in Ukraine love to go to the opera. In many cases, it's a ballet. So instead of an opera, it's a ballet. And it's phenomenal, guys. I mean, just absolutely stunning, beautiful, not expensive. And women will always be up for that. The women in Ukraine, they love their culture. They love their ballet and their opera. If you've not done it before, you got to do it at least once. And you can be in this exact place, this exact opera house, this exact background, in less than a month if you want to go in February to Kiev and to Odessa. So the guide for that tour, we always send a tour guide with our group in Ukraine. And the guide for the tour in February is none other than John himself, right? So John's been doing this longer than anybody, guys. And we've got great managers in Kiev and Odessa, so you can get yourself out there. And just meet these beautiful women and just go to the Odessa Opera House. Go out for dinner and dessert. There's a great cafe right next to it. There's a cafe right across the street. There's a great restaurant in the hotel, which is 1 block from the Opera House. Yeah, honestly, one of the best dates you've ever had in your life. You just get out there. Guys, you're driving the conversation tonight. So we got to have your questions, right? You got to click the box above me, the green box, and send me your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. We're looking at video footage from Nikolaev. What I love about this video footage is I see a couple of guys who I met at seminars last year. I did 3 seminars in Florida. We did a bunch of seminars all over the place last year. It was in Baltimore, it was in Pittsburgh. I had guys from every seminar, but especially in Florida, I had guys sign up for our tours, go on our tours with me. In this case, one of these gentlemen was on tour in April with John and Joe. But I had a bunch of guys who came to me at seminars and then went on tour with me last year. And that's really cool. It's fun to watch the video and realize in 1 year's time, met them at a seminar, had them on a tour, meeting these beautiful women, in some cases a couple of tours. A few guys did actually a few tours with me. So we're getting back out in front of you guys starting this month. John just did a seminar in Las Vegas yesterday. And Saturday the 13th, this Saturday, right? John is going to be in Los Angeles to do another international dating seminar. These are free, they're great, they're educational. If you want to travel with us, we'll save you a ton of money. If you make a commitment to do that at our seminars, you meet guys that have done our trips before, you meet couples. I have a feeling at least one really great couple will show up in Los Angeles. So if you're in Los Angeles this weekend and you want to come out, I'm sorry about the Rams and the Raiders, guys, it happens, right? But if you want to come out to a seminar and get some really great information and meet some really, really cool people who feel and think the way you do about this whole entire international dating thing, and just get some of your positive vibes reaffirmed, just get enabled and empowered to get out there in front of these beautiful women and make a real love story happen for you. Come to the free dating seminar January 13th, this weekend in Los Angeles, and then next weekend in Nashville on Saturday and in Orlando on Sunday. I will be doing seminars. If you want to come out in Nashville or come out in Orlando, it's 11 to 3 each time, right? This weekend and next weekend, 11 to 3. Los Angeles on Saturday, a week from Saturday, Nashville, a week from Sunday, Orlando, Florida. Come on out. Come to our free seminar. Eat some pizza with us. Ask your questions. Hit us up with your harder questions. If you've got serious barriers that are standing in between you and these beautiful women, get your questions out there and let us handle them for you guys, because we can usually help you move beyond whatever's got you stuck in one place so that you get out in front of some of these beautiful women. You guys are going way too easy on me tonight here, right? You got to ask your questions, and I know you have them. So click the green box above me and let me know what you want to talk about tonight. We've got some time, and I'll be happy to cover whatever you want to cover. We're looking at video, this. Now, where is this, I wonder? This could be, forgive me, that could be Odessa, or that could be Dnepropetrovsk. I have a feeling that's Dnepropetrovsk, actually. So, what happens is we have a registration desk. Guys always ask me if the women have registered profiles who come to the social. These women that we know, are we just inviting women off the street? So these are women who have registered profiles at loveme.com. We always reach out and talk to a whole bunch of ladies at loveme.com. And what happens is a lot of women will come to a social event and have a good experience. And when we call them for a second social event, for example, women who in Kiev who came to us in November, if we call them up now and say, hey, would you like to come to our social again in February because you were in November? Did you have a good time? I absolutely did. I told my friend about it. I told my sister about it. I told my mom about it. I told my coworker and colleague. Can they come? And we'll say, well, sure. Are they single? Do they want to meet someone? And will they register on our site? If yes to all of the above, then green light go, it's no problem. Then girls can definitely come to our social events. And when they come into the registration desk, you see a desk in these videos, where women are sitting down and they look like they're processing paperwork. Well, they are. These are women who are coming in, who are registered, who've made a reservation, who are checking in. And these are women that are coming in who are registering for the first time. So probably about, I don't know, maybe 15% of the women that you'll meet at every social event are new and are a referral from someone else who came to our social event. And it's just one of the ways that we show women who we are and what we do. We tell them, come, bring your ID, because we've got to verify your ID, make sure you are who you say you are, and then we'll fill out your profile, come right into the social, and start meeting guys. And we'll show you right away who we are and how we do what we do, and how we try so hard to help so many women meet so many guys. Jason says, I am considering the social in Ukraine in February. How long will the tour spend in each city? Several days, Jason. Several days in each city. Is there still available room on this tour? There is, but you probably should talk to us fairly quickly. Can you offer an estimate of how much money would you recommend I bring for this tour? Well, so when you do a tour with us, Jason, in Ukraine, really anywhere, your hotel, your breakfast, your airport pickup, in this case, 2 really large social events, transportation between Kiev and Odessa, and those are the things that are included, daily introductions from our staff. Those are the things that are included in your tour package. What you'll pay for above the cost of the tour will be your airfare. All of our tours are price land only. There are very good reasons for that. So you'll need to purchase your airfare, which right now from the United States to Kiev on those dates, you're probably looking from most cities at about $500 to $600 round trip. So you'll buy your airfare. And then whatever you want to do for lunch or for dinner, there are all kinds of cafes and restaurants that are cheap. We point them out. And some dates are coffee and dessert. Some dates are bowling. There's a great shopping mall right next to the hotel in Kiev where we stay, and they have a really great bowling center. So girls love to go bowling in Ukraine. They do. Can you imagine what a great date? And then you can go get some pizza afterward or something like that. So some dates are really, really simple. Probably your biggest expense is going to be whether or not you need to work with an interpreter for a few hours a day. The interpreters in Ukraine will typically work for about 20 bucks an hour. So I would probably budget yourself for about 100 bucks a day. Maybe a little bit more than that. There are some times when you'll spend that. There are some times when you probably won't spend anywhere near that. It just depends on who you meet and what you're doing. But that's probably a good range, if you will. Yeah, man, get on our tour. Just do it. Whoa, all right. That's how we do it, guys. All right, let's see. Let me make sure I don't leave anybody. Never leave a man behind. That's our mantra. All right. Paul says, can I simply select the woman I want to meet on a private tour 10 days, Cartagena, without first contacting them? Well, again, Paul, you can select them. You can do a private tour, and you can just go through the database and give us a list of women's profiles who you would like to meet. We'll call them up. Without contacting them in advance, we're literally calling them up in the middle of their day saying, hey, this guy Paul is here in Cartagena, and he would like to meet you for a coffee or for dinner tonight. Are you available, and would you like to? And you can imagine that because, women are working. Sometimes women have responsibilities. Maybe they have a child they're caring for, something like that. It's not always an exact science where everybody can drop what they're doing and come down and meet you. So I think it does help to make a little bit of contact ahead of time, and you certainly want to give us as much notice as you can before your trip, just so we can make sure you can meet the majority of women that you want to meet. But you can absolutely go to Cartagena, give us a list of women that you want to meet, and meet certainly the majority of those women. You just got to call us up in advance to work that out. Our offices are staffed to assist anybody anytime, guys, but we don't do a lot of walk-in traffic without appointment. So just call us up and let us know what you have in mind, Paul, and we'll do our best to accommodate you, okay? Yeah, man. James says, what is the general reception to recently divorced guys in their mid-30s with young kids? No worries, man. I think, look, most of the clients that we have, most of our guys are divorced. A lot of our women in Ukraine, for example, and in China, well, not so much China, but in Ukraine and in other places, there are divorced women. Certainly there are single moms that are out there. I don't think anybody has any particular opinion about men who are recently divorced with kids in their 30s. If you're a nice guy with good old-fashioned family values and a healthy respect for women in relationships, and you project that, and realistic age difference expectations, and you project those things when you open your mouth and talk to these women, you'll have all the dates that you want. Honestly, all the dates you can possibly want. But you've got to be able to project that stuff. And I talked to somebody today, and I have these conversations. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I talked to somebody who tells me this on a daily basis, and I always find this utterly, I don't know, fascinating. Hey, bud, how are you? I'm so-and-so. Listen, I just want to tell you, I'm a really good-looking guy. I don't know why they would tell me that. I'm not going to date him, and I completely don't care. I'm happy for them, but the reality is, the women, I promise you, in this process are looking for a lot more than that. I've seen really good-looking guys with really bad attitudes die on our tour. Not literally die, but crash and burn on our tours. No dates, no activity, not the kind of results that they wanted to get. I've seen relatively average guys with a great attitude do extremely well on our tours. I mean, attitude is really everything, guys. You can imagine, right? So if you go anywhere that we go, and you project that you're a good guy with good old-fashioned family values and a healthy respect for women in relationships and realistic age difference expectations, if you can speak to all of that and you have a plan, you have a reason that you're on this tour or on this trip meeting these women, you're serious in your intentions, you're not playing, you know what you're doing. And if you can speak to all of that when you meet and court and date these women, you'll have all the dates you want. You'll have smashing success, I promise you. If you got those things going for you guys, you should be encouraged, definitely. James, don't overthink it. Just go, man. You'll be great. Sam says, I don't have a lot of experience with dating. That's okay, Sam. No worries. Grew up to date and marry one girl. All right. Didn't work out. Now older. Are the tours still a good idea? Sure they are. Absolutely. You don't have to. Honestly, Sam, I mean, I don't think that the amount of dating experience that you have really matters to most of these women. I really don't. I think as long as you're, again, a good, healthy-minded guy with a good attitude in relationships. So sometimes what happens is, one of the things I like about the videos that you're watching is someone like Sam, who hasn't dated a lot recently, will look at these videos, see very, very beautiful women, and he might think, wow, gee, I don't know, man. If I can go out there and, I mean, introduce myself to these ladies and, you know, I haven't done this recently. These are very beautiful women. How are they going to react to me? And sometimes there's just a little bit of shyness or hesitation, and that's okay. When you do our tours or our programs, when you work with us, we'll pair you up with a partner interpreter, right? A young lady who's great in English. She'll get to know you. She'll right away be able to know what your strengths are. She'll communicate those strengths to anybody you want to meet. She'll encourage you and help you to open up. And she'll find those really neat, unique, wonderful things about you, and she'll make sure everybody you meet knows about them. And our interpreters are great. They like what we do, and they do a really, really great job for us. We're looking at social footage from Odessa right now, guys. That's Odessa. Isn't that huge and beautiful? So, Sam, no worries, man. Absolutely. What else are you going to do, my friend? Get right back out there. Get out there and meet somebody and give your love to somebody. It sounds like you're really serious when you get in a relationship, and you've got, you know, an orientation toward marriage and a long-term relationship, and that's great, my friend. Get right out there. My friend David says, do you have your schedule of tours that you'll be leading in 2018? Well, thank you, David, for asking. I appreciate that. I don't know. Definitely not doing February. John's doing that. April, we'll see. Wouldn't mind doing April. Would like to do April if that's possible. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to guess. It's hard for me to speculate, David. I would imagine July and November. Those are usually the tours that others don't want to do and that I end up doing. But we'll see, my friend. Hopefully I'll have some more information about that sometime soon. I'd like to know myself what to expect this year, I guess. So Brock says, hey, if I happen to hit it off with a woman in Ukraine and decide on the spot you want to marry her, wow, dude, slow down. What is the typical minimum requirement before you can begin the fiancé visa process? Would it be possible to start while you're on the tour, or is that too soon? Can you also give an example of how the IMBRA paperwork requirements are met as you meet the women at the socials? Yep. So you saw on our video how the women come into the entrance of the social. There's a desk, a registration desk. At the registration desk, one of the things that women will do is check in and read the IMBRA information of every guy inside and sign it. This is their acknowledgement that they've read your information and they're coming into the social to meet you. Later on, when you meet somebody and you get engaged and want to get married and you want to apply for a visa, you're going to need a copy of that document. We'll provide it for you when the time comes. You just reach out to us and we'll help you with that. If you meet women on a date outside of the social, we'll get that form signed and keep a copy of it so that when you ultimately get engaged, you can get that form and carry on. As far as getting married goes, look, guys, falling in love is definitely part of the deal. If you could go on a tour, meet these women, and bring them back to the States with us, 99.9% of these women would think that's a completely crazy idea and they wouldn't do such a thing. You know, these are not women who think that it's a good idea to move halfway around the world with somebody sight unseen that they barely know. I mean, no one's really going to do that. But the reality is people do meet on our tours who ultimately fall in love, get engaged, and get married. And sometimes, not I think all the time or most of the time, but sometimes they actually do make a commitment to each other by the end of their tour experience. We see this a lot in the Philippines, for example, and in places like China and Thailand. Some of it is just how much time you have together. If you spend a majority of your time on your trip together, I mean days and days and days together, then maybe by the end of that period you might be able to make that commitment to each other and move forward and file that fiancé visa. Usually guys will take a second trip back, spend some time building that relationship in between visits, lots of communication, you know, Skype, texts, phone calls, emails, whatever. And you go back and spend a little more time with her and her family. You know, everybody's got to be comfortable that you are in love, that you are right for each other, that you've tested the relationship and it's definitely what you think it is and what she thinks it is, and you're both ready for this. It's a big step, guys, right? So can you get engaged while you're in the middle of a tour? You can, and some people do. But I think more commonly, people take the time to build a relationship into a true, solid love relationship. Falling in love is definitely part of the deal. And whenever the two of you are convinced, however long or short it takes, whenever the two of you are convinced that you are in love and right for each other, you can process your fiancé visa application and get it going. Now, what will happen is the fiancé visa application is probably going to take you anywhere from 3 months to 6 months to get. She can't leave her country till she gets it. So you have some time to build this relationship, guys, and make it work. Dave says, can you give more details about your Euro Club single tours? How much lead time does the local office need? I'd give them at least a week. If I pick up the cost, can I invite a lady from another city? Sure you can. What costs are covered? What are on me, etc. Well, you know, so basically, Dave, when you're doing a Euro Club, that is you traveling to another city. What a Euro Club basically amounts to is a week-long appointment with our staff to make dates for you. That's what it is. So you're booking your airfare, you're booking your hotel, you're getting to the city you want to go to, and you're meeting our staff in that city for 7 days or 10 days. We have a 7-day or a 10-day club option. And each day, our staff assistant will be your partner going through your list, your database, and we'll identify the women that you want to meet. We'll call them up, we'll talk to them, we'll arrange those dates. That is your club package. We call it a club package, but in a nutshell, that's what it is. Who buys Euro Club tours? Usually guys who have traveled extensively or guys who have traveled to a particular country and are comfortable doing so. They know the hotel they want to stay in. They're familiar with airfare. They know the cities they're going to. They just want somebody to be available to them every day to arrange dates. And so when you need an interpreter, when you go out on a date, those are things that you'll pay for above the cost of your Euro Club. I give our staff about a week's notice. That's really important. Give them a little bit of time, because when you submit your list of women that you want to meet prior to leaving for that club package, we're going to do our best to set up at least a few dates for you, probably 1 or 2 days worth of dates, just to make sure you're going to hit the ground running and have some good dates. And then each day we'll check with you to see what your needs are and carry on from there, my friend. Euro Club is great. A lot of guys go on clubs. A lot of guys do. David says, I travel to Costa Rica regularly. Lucky you, because the weather is warmer there. I normally dress more casual. Is it a wise idea to bring a sport coat and tie to such a warm climate? It is. Look, David, I know this doesn't apply to you. Costa Rica is kind of interesting because we do attract guys who are extremely casual to Costa Rica. And my office manager in Costa Rica tells me guys show up all the time dressed like they're going to a Jimmy Buffett concert in July, right? They got the parrot shirt, they've got the khaki shorts, they've got the sandals. Women in Latin America, women all over the world will dress up for a date. And they kind of want the guy to dress up for a date a little bit too. So it may be warm. There's air conditioning in the places that you're going to. I would wear jeans. I would wear a blazer and dress shoes. I think that's probably a universal good idea for a first date anywhere that you go, any time of the year, anywhere, right? You definitely want to leave a good impression. And guys, I'm telling you something right now, man. You go around the world and you meet a lot of women from other countries. Notice style and fashion. They have style and fashion. American men are notorious for having absolutely no style and no idea what fashion is. I highly recommend that you look at fashion blogs and style blogs and just get a general idea. Shoot, go to a department store and look at the freaking mannequins. Buy stuff that isn't baggy, buy stuff that is somewhat, form-fitting, if you will, just to complement, you, and develop a little bit of a style. Buy colors that go together. Buy dress shoes that are, you can buy Italian dress shoes very inexpensively these days instead of big clunky things that Frankenstein would wear. Women pay attention to this stuff, guys. They do. If you want to impress women, it takes a little bit of effort. So yes, I absolutely would do a little bit of dress up for a date, no matter where you're going. It sends the right signal to the women that they're worth your effort, right? Yeah, man. Guys, I appreciate your questions. I got a green box right above me that you can click on this webcast. If you have questions that you want to ask, we got about another 15 minutes left, and tonight we're just talking your questions up, guys, right? And giving you good information. We've got seminars coming up next weekend in Los Angeles, seminars coming up in Nashville and Orlando, which I will be doing on the 20th and 21st. If you want to come to our seminars, love to have you. They're free, they're fun, we throw in lunch, no pressure, anything like that, just good, solid information and community with some other guys that think just like you do and have the same interests. So you can come out, it's great, but we need an RSVP to make sure we have the right amount of stuff, right amount of food, coffee, beer, whatever, right? Just make sure we have enough. So please just call us up and give us an RSVP for whatever seminar you want to go to. So yeah, all right, keep your questions coming. Chris says, I did the Costa Rica group tour, went to Cartagena on the individual trip, had a blast, but still looking for my match. No worries, Chris. Considering another trip this year, but not sure when to go. Too many options to choose from. Right on, Chris. Having a tough time trying to decide where to go. When is the Houston seminar? Okay, I'll tell you what. All right, we've done like several Houston seminars in 2017. I think the next Houston seminar is going to be probably March, April-ish, 2018. I submitted a list of cities that we need to do seminars in to John. I know he's going to approve this list. Dallas and Houston are there. So are Baltimore and I think Tampa and maybe Jacksonville. So we'll see. We've got a lot coming up here for you guys. And I'm doing one in St. Louis, I believe. We've just decided it's going to be St. Louis on the whatever Saturday, the 17th or 18th is. I think it's 17th of February, guys. So those of you in the area of St. Louis, on your mark, get set, go, right? David says, 2 Ukraine tours last year and met many lovely ladies. Yes, you did, David, you extremely awesome guy. Communicating with the special one. Wow, nice. She is suggesting a tropical vacation together outside of the U.S. Any good advice? So what's interesting about women from all over the world, but especially women in Ukraine, they love to travel. They love to romanticize the idea of travel because they don't get to travel very much. And they're worldly smart women. They study other cultures. They pay attention to travel blogs, travel and fashion and those kinds of things. These are topics that are very interesting to the women of Ukraine. There's nothing like offering your girl, if you've made a connection to a girl in Ukraine, let's go somewhere during these cold months. Let's go have some fun. Any suggestions? I know a lot of guys go to the Dominican, David, right? I know a lot of guys do. And if you want to talk to anybody who's been to the Dominican with their girl, I can probably get you in touch with a few guys that I know that have done that if that's helpful. Or you, being where you live in southern Florida, you probably could find a number of places that specialize in travel from Miami, for example, or Tampa or Orlando to the Dominican, right? And then you just got to get your girl there. So I might recommend that, definitely. Anywhere in Europe, there are all kinds of cheap vacation packages to Europe right now. So definitely check those out. If she wants a tropical vacation, maybe Greece. I bet there are some really inexpensive trips to Greece right now. I know that people in Ukraine and Russia go to Egypt and Turkey and Tunisia, places like that that a lot of Americans don't go to, but I know those are very popular destinations right now as well. Maybe you could ask her what she has in mind and do some research around that, but there's always the Dominican, my friend. Can't go wrong there, right? Good for you, David. Warren says, you mentioned getting married on the trip would be considered too soon by some of the ladies. What is the average time most ladies feel is too long to wait for a guy to make a decision? 2 months, 4 months, 8 months, a year? Would it depend on the country and culture? More than anything, Warren, it would probably depend on the girl and how much time you have together, right? If you book a 10-day tour to Ukraine, for example, and you meet a girl on day 2, and you say, bud, thank you, man, it's great, I'm done, I'm toast, stick a fork in me, this girl is awesome, I'm going to spend all my time with this girl, and you go and spend a lot of time together, that's a pretty good chunk of time, right, Warren? if you do your tour and you meet the girl that you want to meet, the girl you clearly came here to meet 3 or 4 days before the end of the tour, you're going to have less time together, and you'll need that second trip to spend more time together, right? So, and then of course, some of it depends on her. How old is she? The younger she is, the less experienced in relationships she is. We find that girls that are really young really hesitate to complete this process. The girls that are really young are the ones that get cold feet more frequently, understandably so. Girls that are a little bit more mature, a little more experienced, maybe they've traveled a little bit. There are all kinds of things that come into this war, and it's really kind of impossible. But I do think that for most women, once you've met and you declare to each other that you are in love and happy together, I think that as long as you have a next step in mind, this is the next step for us, we're going to be together again here, and we're going to be together again here. And you can speak to those definite actions and follow through without breaking your promises, your girl will hang in there for a while. Your girl will hang in there for a year and a half. I mean, maybe even in some circumstances, 2 years, as long as you're building that relationship and you're comfortable together and you agree on what those steps should be. I think where guys fall apart and lose their momentum is they don't know what their next step is and they can't speak to it and they don't follow through on it. Or they convince a girl that we're going to spend more time together in 4 months, I'll come back, we'll have a 10-day trip together, and they wait 4 months and then you renege on that and then you break a promise. So that's where things kind of fall apart. As long as you can speak to what your next action plan is and follow through with it, I think the girls will generally wait as long as they can. I don't think that 6 months to a year is uncommon in a lot of cases. It's all individualized, man. It just depends so much on individuals, but it's all good. All right, great questions, guys. I'll do my best to cover as many as possible. Steve says, on a Euro Club tour, is $300 to $350 a day realistic for a nice hotel and dating in Kiev, exclusive of the interpreter? Yeah, dude, more than realistic. Probably half of that is realistic if you're looking at hotel and dates, not including the interpreter. Yeah, man. The prices that you're talking about here are absolutely, you could have all kinds of fun for that kind of a budget, dude, but you could definitely get by on a lot less than that. There are a lot of great restaurants in Ukraine that are cheap, quite frankly, that aren't expensive and aren't going to blow the doors off your bank account. And we love to point them out. In fact, we'll go out of the way, I know, our staff in Ukraine will go out of the way to tell you restaurants you should avoid because they're expensive and you should just listen to us. We'll tell you, we'll arrange dates for you. We pick 2 or 3 restaurants and we'll arrange all your dates at one of those 3 restaurants, for example, just to avoid you going someplace that's expensive if you don't want to. You can always splurge a little bit toward the end of your trip, have a really nice meal in a really fancy restaurant with somebody that you've met, spent time with, that you're sure about, right? Yeah. My friend Jeff says, Happy New Year, Jeff. You too, my friend. Is AFA's email service, do the ladies get any notice, indication if you have read their letter, either their initial intro letter or letters after you've written her back? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. More often than not, I think the women will know when you have read their intro letter. When they send you a letter and you open it, yeah. Sometimes, the women will communicate through their agency, their local agency in Ukraine, and the agency will actually see whether or not, you've read their letter and be able to tell a woman that. So one way or another, Jeff, I think most of the time the women will definitely know if you have read their letters. Kevin says, any seminar dates in Mobile or New Orleans or Houston? Yeah, right on, Kevin. I'm sure we'll do Houston. I'm sure we will. I don't think we'll do New Orleans. I had a shouting match with one of our former clients in New Orleans. It was kind of fun, but not real pleasant for the guys to listen to. I don't think we need to do that again. But Houston, I think we'll do that. Houston's good times, right? So we'll go to Houston, guys. No doubt about it. Sometime in the next 60 days, I'm sure that we'll have a seminar in Houston. So hang in there, Kevin, right? We have a great delegation of clients from Houston, Dallas, Texas in general. Something's going on in Texas, man. The woman in Lugansk was from Mariupol, says Don. I told the story about Don and the woman from Lugansk when I locked them in my hotel room years ago. And you're still in touch. What? Way to go. That's great. Tell her I remember, Dawn. When you talk to her, tell her I remember coming into my hotel room at 11 o'clock at night and the two of you were on my bed giggling in the dark, and I was really, really nervous to open the door. When he goes over in April, he wants to try to go to Mariupol to see her. I think you can do that, Don. I think you can. I think Mariupol, there's still some access there, so that'd be great. Very nice lady. Very cool. That was a great trip. Nice. Take me back, Don. Good times. Whenever you travel to Ukraine, Don, I hope I see you there, man. I love Don. He's a great client of ours. You know, just hearing from Jeff, from Don, from David, from some of our great clients, I meet the coolest guys on our trips. I really do. I mean, I have a really great, fun job. And certainly there are a few knuckleheads who shouldn't be dating the opposite sex anywhere on the planet who do make their way kind of into our realm. Not many, quite frankly. 4 or 5 years ago, something was going on. We had a few of them. But these days, it is just a lot of straight up, really cool guys with great attitudes who are humble and easy to be with, a lot of fun, a lot of hilarity in a lot of cases, just a lot of laughter and good times and camaraderie. You know, guys, when you think about booking a trip with us and getting out in front of these women, you're thinking all about the women, you're thinking all about dating, as you should be. But there's a lot of cool stuff that goes on, even when we're not necessarily dating, when we're having breakfast in the morning and just sharing our war stories with each other. That's always a lot of fun and a lot of laughter. When we're on the bus in between cities, you know, sometimes we'll go out and get a bite to eat as a group. Had a great Thanksgiving dinner. We started a tour in November on Thanksgiving. We went out and had a Thanksgiving dinner together. Had some of the staff and a few ladies along and the guys. It was really, really cool. One of my happiest memories in Ukraine. And we just really attract a lot of gentlemen, a lot of fun guys. And it's great to meet you at the seminars. It's great to have you on the tours. And it's great to be part of this process for you. I'm really, really happy and thankful for what I do. So again, guys, Saturday, January 13th in Los Angeles, John Adams and Tanya Adams will be doing a seminar. That's this coming weekend. They'll be doing a seminar, getting out in front of you. It's free, it's educational, it's fun, free food. Who knows what we'll throw in there. Come on out, see our video and talk to us. You know, just ask your questions and hear a lot about what we do. These seminars are not marketing fluff. These seminars are just full of aha moments, really great information that will really click and resonate and help you to understand a lot about what we do and why we've been doing it now for 24 years and how excited we are to help you find somebody. I will be in Nashville on the 20th. That's a Saturday, a week from Saturday, right? And then I'll be in Tampa. Wait, hold it, Orlando, I'm sorry. So Nashville and Orlando, January 20th and 21st, respectively. All those seminars are from 11 to 3. The venues are on our website. You can just write to me and let me know you're coming or call me up because we got to have an RSVP. Was that Bill Nye the Science Guy? Is he on our tour? Seriously? Dude looks like Bill Nye the Science Guy. That's going to get you some dates, right? I'm sure it wasn't Bill Nye, but if you look like Bill Nye, that's going to get you some dates. Anyway, guys, check it out, right? RSVP for the upcoming seminars, guys, right? We want to make sure that you're not standing up in the back. We've got plenty of room for you and plenty of food and refreshments and good stuff like that. Guys doing all right? Got a minute or two left. We're watching some video from one of our recent tours to Ukraine. I believe that is Dnipropetrovsk, our social in Dnipropetrovsk in September that we're looking at right now. How about that? So nice to see people meet each other, right? And just happy and comfortable together. Good times. If you want to click the green box above me, you can throw another question or two at me before we end tonight. There's Bob Ray, my favorite dirty dancer, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's all on the hips. Look at that. That's crazy. Bob should have like a dance video, like hip-hop abs or something like that. We'd sell it. Anyway, all right, guys, so look. We got tours coming up. We got seminars coming up. You have no excuse to sit there in the dark, peering into your computer, slowly going blind every night, not talking to anybody. I have guys tell me all the time, and some of you can identify with this, but I've been looking at your site for years. Why are you doing that? Really, why are you doing that? You're looking at our site for years and not doing anything about, you know, this empty space in your life. Why do that? Call us up, talk to us. We have so many men, so many women, so many employees. If you've ever called us up and talked to Brianna or Michelle or Robert or myself or John or Anna, everybody, we love to be on the phone. We love to talk to our clients. We love to share what we do. We are more passionate than anybody you've ever met in this business. We love to share our experience with you. So call us up and talk to us. Just tell us a little bit about you, and we'll do our very best to steer you in the right direction and make sure you're getting out in front of somebody and having a good experience, right? Don't sit there in the dark by yourself. We've got a whole entire worldwide community of men just like you, and tons and tons and tons of women who want to meet somebody like you, I promise. That's it. All right, guys, Saturday in Los Angeles. Come on out and see us, right? That seminar is filling up. So if you want to come, you got to RSVP. Our seminars available for viewing later. They are not, Paul. These webcasts that you're watching tonight are. You can go to loveme.com/live tomorrow morning and rewatch this webcast. And any webcast on Tuesday morning after our Monday night. So if it's hard for you to watch live on Monday night, you can always check us out on Tuesday morning and we will rebroadcast. But the seminars themselves, like I'm talking about this Saturday in Los Angeles, next Saturday the 20th in Nashville, and Sunday the 21st in Orlando, are not videotaped and not available for viewing later on. They're live events, so you got to come out. We will be in St. Louis on, I believe, the 17th, Saturday in February. And we got Houston and Dallas on deck. I got Baltimore on deck. I got lots of places on deck for seminars coming up. So stay tuned. San Francisco, I think you're on deck too. So in the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to go coast to coast and just get out in front of as many of you as possible, talk about what we do, and get you on a plane, brother. Because nothing that you're doing, looking at our site for years, writing to women, nothing that you're doing is going to work or amount to anything if you don't get out in front of somebody and meet someone, right? Right, guys? Nothing that you're doing is going to amount to a hill of beans if you don't get out in front of these women. So ultimately, we're going to do our very, very best to get you out in front of these women, get you in the video that you're watching, just like that, right? Questions, concerns, hang-ups, issues, NFL predictions, write to me, bud@loveme.com. Rob, thanks for filling in tonight. My man Rob behind the scenes helped us out, made it all happen. So thanks, guys. Check it out. We'll be back next Monday night. I'll have a nice, shiny PowerPoint, a really cool topic to talk about, some new video for you, and all good stuff like that. We have some really cool, exciting video that you will be seeing very, very soon. I'll just leave it at that, guys. So keep watching on Monday nights, right? Questions or concerns or hang-ups, reach out to us. Hopefully we'll see you this weekend in Los Angeles and next weekend in Nashville and Orlando. And I'll talk to you 1 week from tonight. Have a great week, guys.